this computer. All right, and we are back underway. Hope everybody's having a great week. This is going to be kind of a rapid fire. We're trying to end our 2 umpire mechanics hopefully today. Next week, we're going to talk about working with catchers. That was one of the topics that was requested. But just to throw out a little bit of a shameless plug, in 3 weeks, Jason Vaith and I will be working a game at 1 o'clock at a institution which will currently remain nameless. And one of the things that was widely requested was, what does a good pregame look like? And so currently right now, the plan is that we're going to have Connor take the lead, and he'll kind of go through a couple bullet points while he and I are checking in at the site and getting some, I'll be getting my plate gear on. And then we'll jump in and basically we'll do a pregame. It'll probably be about 15 minutes or so. That's generally about the length of pregame. I've only worked with Jason once, so it's going to be a really good early season pregame, or for a pregame that, for someone that you're working with that you've never worked with before. And then hopefully we're still waiting on schedules to come out for the month of April, but hopefully if Connor and I are able to work a game together sometime in April, we'll likely end up filming it just because most of the 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock games aren't varsity games on Wednesdays typically. So, but we'll film a pregame for somebody that you've worked with, or something that's gonna be a little bit more of like a mid-season pregame. So, Connor, I'm gonna make you co-host, and I'm going to get the PowerPoint going. As always, guys, if you have questions, comments, no such thing as a stupid question, please do ask questions. I will monitor the chat window as best I can. And Connor, without further ado, it is your show.
All right. I cannot operate the PowerPoint, Jake.
Okay. We'll control. There you go. Now you should.
Awesome.
There you go. Yep.
All right. What slide are we on here?
We're just going back.
Awesome.
Yeah, first and third.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to minimize the chat window here so I can actually see the entire screen. So runners on first and third, and a play in the infield. So like we've talked about in the two-person system, with plays in the infield, the ball stays in the infield. The base umpire is going to have all plays in the infield, right? As a plate umpire, we need to gain a little bit of ground towards the play. So follow the ball a little bit. Let me retract that here. So runners on first and third. As a plate umpire, we have responsibility for the touch of home plate. And we also have responsibilities for any potential runner lane interference, pulled foot, swipe tag, stuff up the first baseline. So we need to be in a position to see all this stuff. In my personal opinion, if the play is not going to be at the plate, I'm going to take 2 or 3 steps back and keep everything in my field of vision, right? Because I'm going to watch the runner touch the plate. Then I'm going to take maybe 1 step to the side to get a look up that first baseline. I'm also going to be responsible for all overthrows. So ruling on that ball staying in play versus going out of play. And then, like we talked about, runner lane interference. If R3 is off on the swing, reads a ground ball and takes off, and there's not going to be a play at the plate, that might adjust what I do as a plate umpire. And I might swing a little bit wider if I know that ball's not coming home. I might swing a little bit towards first baseline extended to get a better look at that play, about a runner running up for the first baseline. As U1, I'm going to open up to the baseball, right? Chest the baseball. That way I know where it's going to come. Then I'm going to move myself into position to rule on that safe out of the next play. Sometimes that's moving towards the mound. Sometimes that's moving back towards the outfield. Go wherever you need to go to stay out of the way of the throw and be in position to see the play at first, the potential play at third, If there's one there, obviously we're going to gain ground towards third base. If not, we're going to drop step and work towards first. But we need to move out of the way of the throw and in position to see to play at first and a potential pulled foot play. Obviously, we're not going to have a great angle in most plays in the two-person system on pulled foot. But we need to make sure that we are able to take a read step if we read a throw back towards the right field foul line, going towards right field or going to the first base dugout. We can take a read step to adjust to get a great look at that and have a good judgment call on that pulled foot. That play's our responsibility in its entirety. So we have sole responsibility for that play on the pulled foot on the play at first base. Now, if we feel that we need to go get help or we may have missed something, then we can go get help. But a lot of times we go get help to appease the head coach of one team or the other, especially at lower levels. When we know that we're 100% right on that call, we don't always need to go get help. Obviously, there's a time and place to say, okay, you know what? I am 100% certain, but I'm going to go ask. But we can't do that every time because then on every play, they're going to come out and expect you to go get help. So use your judgment, take a read step to get in position for that play as a base umpire and make the call. Jake, is there a slide in here about overthrows in this situation?
Let me look in the manual here. We're still talking plays within the infield.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it covers overthrows.
No, there is no overthrow.
Cool. So if we have an overthrow and we're the plate umpire, our first responsibility is R3 touch. Our second responsibility is runner lane interference, swipe tag, pulled foot. We realize we're gonna have an overthrow. We're gonna gain ground towards that dead ball territory, right? So we're gonna move up the line a little bit towards that dugout. Let the ball come to a stop. If it rebounds and comes back out, we're gonna give a safe signal. No, we don't need words. We can just right here signal that ball's in play, right? Or if it goes into the dugout or gets picked up and carried into the dugout, which we'll talk about later in our base awards section. But we're going to call time and then award bases based on what occurred. Anything to add on this slide, Jake, Russ?
Yeah, I guess the one thing that for me as far as coming up, and I'm on a play in the infield, we got to be mindful that we're responsible for the touch as the plate umpire. And so we talk about angle over distance so much when it comes to plays like this and plays in the infield. All I do is I just stand in the right-handed batter's box, or just a step out of the batter's box, first base line extended. So that's my starting point, and then I will read any throw and play at the plate.
Cool. All right. Clean hit to the outfield with runners on first and third. So here we have a rotation possibility, right? So as a plate umpire, we read clean hit. We are going to rotate up to third. This shows a very drastic, we're going to run way out of the way. The point is we need to clear R3. We need to make sure we look back when R3 touches the plate. We need to know that they touch the plate. We don't necessarily need to be standing at the plate when that occurs, but we need to take a peek and watch and touch. And then we need to move up for that potential play on R1 at third base. Obviously, we can read R1. If R1 slows up as he's coming in a second, we don't need to be on a dead sprint to third base. I think that one of the things that I've always been told is you want to be moving about the same pace as R1, right? You're not going to beat him there by a mile. We don't need to be on a dead sprint until we have to be there, but we have to be there in advance to be set and watch that play coming in. So as the plate umpire, I'm going to work up the third base line wider than R3. Once I see the touch, I'm going to move into basically the dirt cutout, and I need to be inside. The reason I need to be inside is if I'm inside, I can watch the flight of the ball on an overthrow. but I also have an angle for that play back at the plate. If I work outside this play, I have no chance to see an overthrow and I have to turn around. And there's also no way I'm going to beat R3 to home plate or be anywhere near that plate for a potential play at the plate if we have an overthrow. So work outside, work up the line a little bit, peek back, watch R3 touch, get into position in that cutout area for baseball, runner, base. As U1, I'm going to pivot, open up to the baseball, okay, read clean hit. I'm going to watch R1 touch second. I'm going to come back for the batter runner. Because my responsibility is now going to be the batter runner wherever they go once R1 commits to third. So if there's a play at second base as U1, I have to be in position to officiate that play at second base. If there's not going to be a play here, I'm going to swoop back, watch the batter runner touch. And then the important thing when we watch the batter runner touch is that we know what they do. Too often, we want to try to beat R1 or the batter runner, to second base. And we miss that play back into first because we are way over here where U1 initially started. So we want to follow the batter runner. When they commit, we commit. If they pause and go back, we have to go back and get an angle for that play behind the batter runner at first base. But then we would have the batter runner wherever they end up. That makes sense? Any questions on that?
It's brilliant.
Well said.
All right. Fly ball on left field line. So obviously the same thing. Now we have catch, no catch responsibilities as the plate umpire and potentially the base umpire, depending on where the ball's hit, right? So as a plate umpire, we need to move up to where we can see fair foul, we can see catch, no catch, and we can see R3 tagging all at the same time. Go, as Larry said last week, I think, go as far as the ball allows you to go. Now that's going to be different for Jake than it is for me, than it is for Larry.
Yep.
So we're always going to have different opportunities at this. And we're always going to have different opportunities on how far we can go on this play. But we need to get up far enough to see all these things. And ideally, we're going to be able to be on the line. But that's not always going to work for that play because we have R3 standing on the base, blocking our view partially. We could have F5 or the third baseman standing there with not knowing what's going on, watching the play happen, right? So we might have to adjust our positioning a step one way or the other to get the best look down that line, or if the line's not threatened, to get that catch, no catch. The ball's not caught, we don't have to worry about R3 tagging, right? But once the ball touches the glove of the fielder, we take a peek at R3 and make sure they're where they're supposed to be, they're tagging. Process the catch, have voluntary release. And then if it's like I have lived by the philosophy, waist up, obvious catch, doesn't always need a signal.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're standing there, it's a can of corn. I don't need a signal because that causes my attention to go somewhere else. And everybody sees that catch because in baseball, nobody's looking at anything other than the baseball, right? Except for that one guy at the end of the dugout that's going to know that R3 left early every time. So I'm going to have R3. If there's no catch, I'm going to clear, let R3 touch the plate, and move into position for R1 at third, because I still have responsibility on R1 at third as the home plate umpire. If the ball is caught, I'm going to retreat, get into position for the play at the plate, because R1's 99% of the time, baseball IQ says he's going to go at least halfway. U1's going to follow that. U1's also should have an opinion on that catch, no catch, because we need to know that's the most important thing is the catch, no catch on this play. And then we break it down based on priority. If we know R1's going halfway, what else are we looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to observe R1. We're going to be ready for a play at second base on R1. If that causes it, we're going to observe their retouch at first, or their tag of first. And we also have batter runner. And this plays a catch, so we don't have to worry about the batter runner. All we have to do is worry about yo-yoing with R1. And our plate umpire is going to take R3. Any questions on fly ball to left field?
Oh, well done, Connor.
Yeah. The big thing is just line the tag up. Line the tag up with the catch. Get to a position. And it all just depends on where you're at. And Dan, hi Dan. Dan brings up a fantastic point here. So the other responsibility here that we have is going to be in case we have a passing situation where the left fielder here drops the ball, we need to be aware of any potential passing situation of the batter runner and R1.
It's a good point, especially on a drop ball, because the batter runner should be running hard. And R1's probably just hanging out.
Yep.
Or retreating, and then we have a passing situation, which, depending on which rule set you're playing, may be a live ball or a dead ball.
Yep. Okay. Let's see if I have control here. Perfect. Okay. Talking fly ball down the right field line. The same principles here apply. Okay. We're still going to want to make sure we're looking for passing. Now, in this situation here, we have a no catch. Okay. So we have catch, no catch, and we have a fair foul responsibility. So this shows the plate umpire coming up the line. And as we've talked about in weeks past, the mechanics that we present are just a guide. Like it's a starting point. It's not the be all end all. So, in this situation, if this is a relatively routine ball, I'm going to back up and get first base line extended so I can try to line up the tag of R3 with the catch. In this case, we have no catch. And so then the plate umpire, because the plate umpire went up the line and has fair foul responsibility, the base umpire is going to be on their own. But if the umpire, reads clean hit right away, then the plate umpire would be responsible for moving up to third base. I believe we need to communicate. Yes, this is absolutely a communication situation that Larry pointed out. Communicating, as we talked about, 2 weeks ago, Russ was talking about, saying that's mine or that's yours. Communicate on this one. Make sure everybody knows. The other one that I would say is if I'm coming up the line and which would relinquish my third base responsibilities, I'm going to be saying, if I'm working with Connor, I'm at home or I have home, which should tell Connor that he is responsible for all the bases. And yes, on this we could have I'm on the line, since this is likely going to be a fair foul clean, but not a catch.
I, as the plate umpire in that situation, I'm always going to use my partner's name first.
Yep.
That way they know I'm talking to him. And then when the coach comes out and says, well, because you said something, my player didn't catch the ball, I use my partner's first name before I said anything. I'm going to say, Jake, I'm online, and let him know I've got that play or that baseball. That way there's no confusion as to who I'm talking to. The team's probably not going to hear you anyway way out in right field, but I'm going to communicate to my partner. That way I have a reason of saying, this is why I'm communicating. And this is who I'm communicating to, and everybody knows I'm communicating to my partner.
You're up.
All
unless you want me to do another slide.
Go for it.
All right, cool.
Should be going to see, that was no catch.
Yep, going to runner on second.
Runner on second. All right, awesome. So with the runner on second, one of the common things I see is our base umpires often will revert back to B with 2 outs, which is something we should not be doing. I know that's something that the STUA, I believe, has on their slide. We can't officiate a play at third base from position B. We need to be in C, and we need to be able to move across the working area for that play at first base. It's 4 or 5 steps where the ball's in play. Everybody can do that. So make sure we're in C and we're in a proper position in C. proper position in C is at least halfway between, or no more than halfway between the mound and second base. If we're in a deep C, all we're looking at is rear ends and elbows. Since we're recording this PC, but all we're seeing is the back end of that play, right? We're seeing the runner sliding in. We don't have an angle on that play. If we are in the true C position, or tighter to the mound, it's pivot, step, we're in position. We're getting ready to be set for that play on that steal, right? Or that tag play of R2 going if they're off, it's a bunt or hit and run or some type of scenario like that, right? We need to get an angle, and the best way to get an angle is to be in proper position to start the play. So know that going forward of angle over distance, but if we're in C, we're going to be in great position to officiate or umpire at every base as opposed to just one play. So as the plate umpire, we still have swipe tag, pulled foot, right? Fair foul on both lines here. So we need to make sure that we move up the line because we don't have responsibility for any plays other than at the plate right here. So I'm going to move up the line. I'm going to keep R2 in my peripherals to know what's happening. But I also can't go too far because if R2's off on the pitch, Jake, can you back that up one slide?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry
about that. I don't know either. There we go.
So I also have to be ready for that play coming back to the plate from first base. So I need to be able to be in position to rule on runner's lane interference, pull foot swipe tag on the batter runner, and be able to get back into position for a play to plate on R2. As the base umpire, we're in position C. We're going to chest the baseball, and we're going to go where the throw takes us here. Depending on how hard the ball's hit, we have to read, right? Read and use baseball IQ, but be ready for the unexpected. That ball's hit to the second base side of the runner's probably taken off, right? Towards the hole, they're probably going back and returning to second base. We might have a potential play there. We might have a throw across. So we need to open up and read the play, read the action that's happening, and then make an adjustment based on that play. If the play is going to first, we pivot, let the baseball turn us to first base. Don't turn ahead of the baseball. Read the throw, make a read step, rule on the play at first base. But then we also have to be able to have that play at third. If we have a play at first and then R2 takes off on the throw, we still have that play at third as the base umpire. So we need to be able to get in position for that play as well. Which means that we can't stand there and make a call standing still at first base if that play is going back to third right immediately. We need to pause, read the play, make a decision, and once we make a decision and we see voluntary release, then we can pivot, and as we're pivoting, he's out. That puts us in position to officiate or to umpire that next play because we have that. And a lot of times, I've heard pregame so many times and had this happen where I'm the base umpire and I have a play at first, and then I turn around for the play at third, and the plate umpire is standing there making a call. So the ball stays in the infield. As the base umpire, we should have all plays in the infield. And it's a simple read the play, let the play finish at first, open up, make your call as you're moving towards third. So make your decision from a stationary position, and then signal what your decision is after you have voluntary release and as the throw takes you to third.
Connor, completely agree. And Russ will back this up. We've worked with a lot of minor league guys, and as soon as that play at first is complete, with their eyes still on it, looking for voluntary release, you'll see that footwork. They'll start moving. They're never backpedaling, but they'll start moving into a position where that additional play in the infield could be. It could be a back pick to second. It could be a throw to third. So you're dead right. Your chest just has to be tied to the baseball and let that play happen. What I wanted to talk about is as guys are starting out, there's a B position that everybody knows where you're halfway between the dirt cut and the back end of the pitcher's mound. I would encourage people. Russ taught me this. God, it's got to be 8 years now, but I stand 15 feet from the pitcher in my B and C. And the reason I get up that close, it does two things. I got to stay sharp because that 3-hitter could put one right in my nose. I've got to pay attention more. It helps me stay a little more attuned to the pitch, and a little more attuned to the play, but it gives me an underneath angle already. And I have so many more options about where to go. I can work deeper if the throw goes that way. I'm underneath a ball to the shortstop, which is pretty common. You know, that 6-3 play isn't going to be it's not going to be in my ear.
Right.
But working forward, just it alerts me a little more, and it gives me a lot more options, I think. So the U1 position that you've got on the chart here, I'm gonna gain about almost probably 12 to 15 feet in front of that. Guys shouldn't go there immediately. You got to be able to see some pitches. You got to get used to it. But if you're working if you're doing some kind of a JV game, or if you're doing something that's a little lower level and you're not as concerned about the bats, get up there and see what it looks like, because it'll change your orientation. If you end up with a back pick, some kind of play, or a steal play at third, man, you can take 2 steps toward the line and get yourself a completely different angle than looking at butts and elbows, which is what you're doing if you're looking at the backside of a steal play. You really don't have the front of the base. You're really fighting angles if you don't have what I'm talking about here. But it's great on a Thursday at 4:00 to go out there and play with it and make sure that you like it. I see, and I agree completely with what Jake is doing here with the circle, the additional circle. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'm tight to the mound. I mean, it felt uncomfortable for the longest time, but God, it's so much easier to get to the next play, and you have everything opens up for you.
I do the same thing even in B now, on the B side of things, that close also. It gives you a way better look at that pickoff at first base, especially they're diving in, and the way they dive today, their legs actually kind of swing a little bit toward home plate. And so if you're down closer, you actually are going to be able to see essentially around their feet. It's just a natural way the body moves. I mean, it's not like they're, like they're trying to do it. It's just a natural way the body moves. But it get closer. Obviously, don't get so close that you're going to get killed. I get it. I had something happen to me a couple of days ago at the bank that hasn't happened in 30 years. I was in that deep sea, and I had to take a baseball between the legs because there was no time for me to move anywhere else. I mean, if I tried to open that gate, I'm catching one on the knee or the thigh, and I'm not interested in that. So I just said, it's fine. Just let it go, or it ain't gonna get nothing. So,
Yeah,
and you're right. It keeps you focused, and the higher you go, everyone who's higher than you will tell you that the great ones are the ones who can focus for 9 innings, who don't lose their focus. And being closer so you don't get killed, it'll actually make you focus.
yeah, that's a great point for that pickoff at first. They're sliding to that back corner of that bag, so they'll be nice and tight close to the pitcher because it creates the illusion of they're closer to the base than they want, or than they actually are. And the slide to the back corner, which creates that angle to where their feet are, or their bodies are obstructing you from where their hand is a lot of the time. So if we're tighter, we get a better look at that play.
Absolutely.
All right.
Rolling.
Oh yeah.
Jake, I'm not sure if there's a lag because I'm controlling your screen or what, but it's not advancing.
There's a clean hit. There's a clean hit for you.
Okay. Cool.
All right, one too far here. I was gonna clear the. We're gonna get clear all drawings. There we go. All right, you're good, man.
Shouldn't we should be past this, shouldn't we?
Clean hit to the outfield on this.
It should
Yeah.
be right around second.
This is not. Oh shoot. All right, give me a sec here.
I'll go back one slide. Yeah, we haven't had this one yet.
Okay.
All right, so runner on second, fly ball to center field, and it's going to be a catch. So this is in the wedge or the V, however you call it, where the base umpire is going to have responsibility for catch, no catch. If this is a situation where it's a can of corn, as the U1, I don't know if I'm going to go towards the mound. I might take 1 or 2 steps back towards the base path and maybe angle a little bit towards third base so that I have a tighter wedge on this play. But I have catch, no catch. I have R2 tagging, and I have to play at third as a base umpire. So I'm going to step in, get a nice angle where I can keep everything in my line of vision, observe catch, no catch, voluntary release. And we talk about those on every play because those are what are voluntary release is important. That's the only way we can have a catch if we have voluntary release. So ground it into your head because when the coach comes out and asks you how that was a catch, in my judgment, he had firm and secure possession and voluntary release of the baseball. That's the definition of a catch. And the coach can't argue that. They can, but you gave them rule book verbiage, and they're probably going to say, okay. So I'm going to, once the throw's released, I read true throw. I'm coming down into the cutout and getting set for that play. Now, when the throw's released, I'm not going to immediately snap my head and do nothing but look at the base, right? Because the base doesn't tell me where the baseball's coming. That's how you wear one in the back of the head. I'm going to keep my chest to the baseball, keep my eyes on the flight of the baseball, watch the runner because we still have obstruction potential by the shortstop, right? And as the throw gets closer, then I'm going to, once I read true throw, I'm going to go to the base and be set, looking at the base where the play intersects prior to the baseball getting there. Be really slow on this play to make a decision. Let the play finish entirely. We get a lot of if we get a swipe tag and that ball goes flying into left field and we're punching him out, it's going to look really silly. So let the play finish. Good timing, make a decision. And timing's about when we make the decision and not when we make the call. So be really slow and have really good timing when you make your decision.
Hey, Connor, I'm going to interrupt you here, okay? So, guys, what Connor just said, drill that into your brain, okay? It was 2 years, I think, it'd been 2 seasons ago. Connor and I were working a college game together, and we had this conversation. If anybody wants to know the one piece of information that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have wanted to know, it is that sentence right there. Timing is not when you make the call, it's when you make your decision. So just emphasize that. Slow down, see the entire playthrough, and Connor is 100% correct on that statement.
I didn't get that piece of information until my second or third year working college baseball, and it made my ball strike arguments go way down because I slowed everything down. So we covered what the base umpire does in this situation. As a plate umpire, I'm going to take 2 steps back. I'm going to keep everything in my field of vision. I'm going to have an opinion on catch, no catch in center field, and I'm going to have the batter runner touching first. And that's really it on this play. It's nice. It's a nice play to be the plate umpire because you just get to hang out. You don't have to go sprint up to third base, right? Your partner's not going out because it's a can of corn to center field. So you just got to take 2 or 3 steps back, keep everything in your line of sight, help out with batter runner touching first, help out with catch, no catch, help out with obstruction. Because there are times where the base umpire turns and misses it, and it's something simple that causes a play at third to be out versus safe. And that's a great opportunity for you to come in and make a crew saving call and get the obvious obstruction that that the base umpire missed. Pretty simple play there. And then we also have overthrow responsibility too.
So what you're really saying is the plate guy doesn't have that play off.
Correct.
Yeah. You're right. It's easy. You don't have to go anywhere. I didn't say you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. It seems like I get to breathe for a little while, but you can be the guy that saves the crew by seemingly doing nothing and just having your eyes and ears peeled for what's possible. And if he's got everything, which in this play he does, and I will always communicate to my partner as the plate man, Jake, that's all you. That's all you. That just means to my base umpire, you're dealing with the catch and the tag and the play at third. I got everything else. I got all the backstory that can really save a crew. And you always want to be known as the guy who can save a crew.
That's how you get state tournaments.
Exactly.
That's how you get D1 baseball.
Yeah, that too.
But
I don't know what state tournaments in Iowa pay, but D1 baseball pays in excess of $350 a game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But this plays a great example of the plate umpire having everything in their line of sight. We have to work, we work 3 times as hard as a base umpire because we have every ball strike, right? And we have everything in our line of sight. So if we miss something as a plate umpire or as a crew, the plate umpire is the one person that can see everything going on in the field and should be able to come in and save the crew if something weird happens or something out of place happens, because everything's in your field of vision. All right, let's see if we can go to the next slide. Fly ball on the left field line, really simple here. As plate umpire, we have catch, no catch. We're going to move up the line, right? We have to be on the line to rule fair foul. That's something that I got yelled at by Mark Hutchinson 10 years ago because I ruled a fair foul on a play at the fence because I called a ball foul that hit the fence from not standing on the line. But be on the line to rule fair foul. You have catch, no catch responsibility. If the ball is not caught, you get R2 touching third. If it is caught, we're going to take, if it's caught and it's a clear catch, I'm going to turn and peek at the batter runner and see what they're doing. Because we still need to make sure that somebody deserves the touch of the batter runner, which primarily goes to U1, I believe. But we can always help out because what else do we have, right? U1's going to have R2 tagging and going to third. We're going to have you responsible for the play at third. So just like that ball to center field, line up the tag, move in position for that play at third base. If the ball's not caught here, we have the batter runner touching first, second, and wherever the play on the batter runner is made at. Plate umpire, you're going to move the line and then go back for the play at home. All right. Next one up. Fly ball to the right field line. Just like we talked about earlier on the catch, no catch. Jake, I'm on line. I'm going to move up to position to officiate or to umpire that catch, no catch. Base umpire is going to have R2 tagging and going to third base. As a plate umpire, I have responsibility for the batter runner touching first now because it's in my line of sight, right? I'm right there. I'm going to take ownership of that play. And then I'm going to return home for a play at home if it's not caught or if it is caught and R2 tags and goes to third. The one thing that I think is something that I'm not 100% sure on, so maybe somebody can jump in and help me on this. I know U1 has all plays. U1 has responsibility for the tag going to third. If that ball's dropped, who has responsibility for the batter runner going into first? That's U1 as well, right? Because the plate umpire has to go back for the play at home.
Yes, because so if the ball gets dropped, I would say yes because we know R2 is going to be coming home. I don't foresee a situation where we don't have R2 coming home, especially on something like this. So I would say yes, the plate umpire has to stay home on this, and this is just one of those where we'll call it the flaws of the 2-umpire system. A lot of stuff to cover, but
the more I think about this play, if that ball's dropped, we're probably not going to have a play at third. So I'm going to, and Larry just jumped in. As a base umpire, I'm going to move to where that play is going to be made at. Because I don't have to watch if that ball's not going to third base, I don't need to be at third for a play. I'm going to go to wherever the ball takes me. A play I haven't seen yet that I can think of and needed to process through, but it's something that happens at lower levels a lot. So.
Oh, shoot.
What happened?
I have too much control over my computer screen right now.
Quit touching buttons, Jake.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Mine.
Oh,
We should be on R3, right?
we're going 2 and 3 here.
Okay.
I think so. R2, R3. All right, runner on second and third. Here you go.
All right. Jake, since we've only got like 15 minutes.
Yep.
Do we want to start another section? Because I don't think we'll make it through it.
I posted up in the chat here a little bit ago that we were just going to finish this today.
Okay. Cool.
You know, as long as you got time, I got enough time in my work day to hammer out the rest of this. What we may want to consider doing, since we got Russ on right now, and I don't know if Danny's still on right now or not, but Russ sent me just an unbelievable video that involves playing at that involves the play at the plays at the plate. You know, 2 weeks ago we were talking about the train tracks and taking some plays at the plate here. So I'm going to stop sharing here for one moment here, and I'm going to pull that video up. Give me one sec. And then as soon as we're done with this, you know, we'll pick this up. And like I said, everybody, you know, like I said, we will have all of these videos up on the Corn Belt Umpires Association YouTube channel.
Jake, let's stop recording.
Okay.
For this. This hasn't been